What's up, guys? This is Corey with the Dirt City Gym. Today I'm looking at another deck with y'all guys. Today we're going to be looking over Garchomp. Garchomp's a pretty fun deck. It's one of those that's been around for a while. You know, it's always seen a little bit of play here and there. It's one of those decks, it's not getting a whole lot of hype at the moment, but I think it definitely has some playability right now with how the meta kind of looks out. So I'll kind of go over it a little bit. I'll go over this strong points, and then we'll get into the actual deck list. So our main attacker here is Garchomp. It's a stage 2 with 130 HP. He's got his 2 attacks here. Turbo Assault. For 1 fighting, it does 60 damage. You attach an energy card from your discard pile to one of your Pokemon. And then we've got Bite Off for 2 fighting. It does 80 damage. If your opponent's active Pokemon is an EX, this attack does 80 more damage, so it's doing 160 damage to any EXs. And then another big thing is he has free retreat. So Garchomp's a really strong attacker, especially when you're going up against EXs and stuff like that. I mean, he can pretty much go toe-to-toe with most EXs and even Mega Pokemon with some of the stuff we've got running in the deck. So he's really strong, especially because he's only a 1 prize attacker. I mean, this deck does not run any EXs, so. Next up, we've got Octillery, which you really need that, kind of keep going through the deck. We need a couple different pieces to really get the deck rolling, so Octillery can help with that. How we get our Garchomps out, being that it's a stage 2, we want to get it out as quickly as possible. So we use Rare Candy, which basically what Rare Candy does, like when you play Rare Candy, if you've got Gible on the field and you've got a Garchomp in your hand, you can evolve straight to Garchomp and skip past the Gabite stage. We run 2 Gabites just kind of as a backup option. Generally in most of the games I play, you're, I don't know, maybe 75% of the time at least gonna hard evolve straight to Garchomp, usually on the bench, but and then Gabite's attack Sand Tomb isn't horrible if you know you're going to evolve into Garchomp next turn. You kind of get a Pokemon up in the active with a Lysander or something and just kind of keep him in there, not allowing him to retreat. The thing with Garchomp, being that he's a fighting type, he gets the benefit of strong energy, so all of his attacks do an additional 20 more damage. So that can kind of mitigate resistances and things like that, but, you drop a couple special, or strong energies on Garchomp, and he's hitting huge numbers on EXs. And with his ability, or his attack, Turbo Assault, you can start accelerating energy to Garchomps or Gibles on the bench as well, including strong energy if they're in the discard pile. Another thing that we kind of use to kind of help with the numbers, use a lot of Bursting Balloon. It's kind of our go-to thing to put on the Garchomps and things like that. If they attack into the Bursting Balloon, they're taking 60 damage. Since we can't quite hit those high numbers to take out like Mega Pokemon and stuff, this really helps kind of work with that math. So anyway, getting into the list, I'm just running a 4-2-4 Gible, Gabite, Garchomp. Like I said, we don't really want to focus on hard evolving up into Garchomp, but we have that option if we need to, so that's why we're running 2. I mean, you could go down to 1 in the Gabite, but I think 2 is a little safer. We're running a 2-2 Octillery line, Remoraid Octillery. Octillery is really important for this deck. We need to get those rare candies and the Garchomps in our hand, as often as possible. Like I was saying, Bursting Balloon is kind of, how we're offsetting some of our damage a lot. So in order to keep that going as much as possible, I'm running 1 Eco Arm, which just puts 3 Pokemon Soul cards from your discard pile in your deck. This is one of those, you could definitely drop it, or you could definitely increase it, just kind of depending on what you want to do. Running 1 Escape Rope, which is pretty standard. Something in my list that might be a little interesting is I'm running Max Potions, and this is one I'm not like super sure on. This is definitely one of those I could drop for something else, but right now I'm running 2 Max Potions. Being able to, already accelerate energy with Garchomp and things like that, and having free retreat. If you get stuck up in the active with a Garchomp that's weakened, you can free retreat into the bench, promote up a new Garchomp, Max Potion, heal all the damage off to the bench Garchomp, and then use Turbo Assault and start putting that energy right back onto that Garchomp. Kind of helps keep your numbers going around. I'm also only running 3 rare candy. Right now that's all I've got online, but it's definitely one you could run for head. I'm running 1 Super Rod, pretty standard there. 3 Trainer's Mail. Trainer's Mail is one that you could bump up to 4 if you needed to. 3 Ultra Ball, same thing, you bump up to 4 with that. I usually always run 3, but there's nothing wrong with running 4. 4 via Seekers, pretty standard. 1 Hex Maniac, 2 Lysander, same thing, pretty standard there. 2 Ends, 2 Sycamore, 4 Sycamores, excuse me. I'm also running 2 Faded Town. Again, you know, we're talking about dealing with the numbers and stuff like that, and in order for Garchomp, in order to start taking out like Mega Pokemon and stuff, you need multiple copies of Strong Energies on one Garchomp, which you can definitely do, but it's probably not the most efficient. So things like the Bursting Balloons and the Faded Towns kind of help with those numbers. Even if you only get 2 damage counters off of the Faded Town, I mean that's still 20 damage that you didn't have before, and kind of... So you're doing 200 damage with 2 Strong Energies, and then you throw in the Faded Town, that's 220, which is knocking out majority of Mega Pokemon. If you're dealing with like a Mega Ray or something that's got a resistance, that's where like the Bursting Balloons would come into play. Also running 1 Parallel City, 1 Silent Lab. This is just kind of stall tactic, more annoying than it is anything. Kind of messing with abilities and things like that. You know, kind of shuts down Volcanion, Flareons, Shamans if they can't get a Stadium out, Hoopas if they can't get a Stadium out, things like that. Since we're not running anything like that, it doesn't really bother us. So it's a nice Stadium if you can get it out pretty early. And then I'm running 4 Bursting Balloon, pretty standard there. 2 Floatstone, which it's really only there for the Octillery. And then 4 Strong Energy, and then 5 Fighting Energy. And again, so it's pretty much it's the list I've been running with right now. I've had pretty good success with it, at least online, but it's definitely got room for flexibility if you wanted to change things up. I've seen some versions that don't run the Octillery line, excuse me, and they run things like Talonflame or even Shamans or something like that. I think Talonflame is interesting. I could definitely see that working. I just like being able to get that consistent draw support from the Octillery. Shaman's another thing you can run, obviously. You get a little bit more explosive with Shaman, but I think Octillery long term is better in this deck just because you need multiple pieces whenever you can get them between the rare candies and the Garchomps and things like that. So anyway, that is the deck, and we will get into some battles on the ladder real quick. Would I like to go first? Yes. What is it with not getting supporters? Rubbish, huh? That really doesn't bother us too much. No supporters bothers us though. Bothers the hell out of us. Let's drop that. Assuming Mega Mewtwo? Yes. Well, at least we'll get Octillery next to it. Well, Yeah, we'll get Octillery next turn. There's the Mewtwo and Jirachi. That's interesting. Don't see. Another day, another. And I have the Abyssal Hand for 1. Well, that's a good one. I need to keep that as long as possible. We're gonna have to burn it. I'm just gonna have to live with it. Let's see. Got 2 double colorless over there. And the Heart Evolve. Drop that to you. This'll hand for 3. Drop you, see if he brings out. Okay, cool. We'll live with that. Hoping we get what we need. Get you back. If nothing else, if we can get at least a Garchomp, we can. It's not a Garchomp. Not a Garchomp. This'll hand for 2. We're digging. Holy crap. And our only supporter is Sycamore too. Now he's got the shrine out. Oh my goodness. Okay, he end us. Still no Garchomp. Just gonna go get Garbodor. Because reasons? Just gonna take that hard 60, alright. Well, you're almost worthless now, Artillery. Drop that. It's 2 shrines we've burned. Put that there. Put you down. Ah, do I really have to Sycamore? Yep. All 4 of those bastards. That's ridiculous. Okay. Oh, he's got a float on him anyway, so. Alright. Alright, well, evolve there. Fight off. Get that knockout. Strong energy there, okay. Well, he's got nothing going now, other than Jirachi business. We can retreat. Okay, so we're rolling a little bit now. Yep. Alright, so we're gonna have to get rid of one of you. And then we'll get rid of one of you. Get the Gabite. All there. Strong energy there. Triple assaults for no damage. We can accelerate. It's a Gabite over there. Alright, as y'all saw, like, that bursting balloon came in clutch. I mean, there we go. Just a little bit of extra damage is important, especially if they're not paying attention to stuff like that about our damage output and things like that. I mean, we didn't even need the extra strong energy after the bursting balloon, but to take out the Mega Mewtwo, because we're doing 160 base, plus the 60 is 220, which is just enough. But now, hey, that extra damage would have came in clutch. Let's get rid of the resistance. Teddy Tippers. Another thing, it's really hard for those big Mega Decks to deal with. They gotta take 6 prizes, and we're dealing just high levels of damage. That we're nearly one-shotting them as much as they're one-shotting us. With the combinations of balloons and Faded Town and things like that. Especially in the Mewtwo matchup. The Ray matchup's a little different just because resistance and stuff makes things a little trickier, but it's not a bad matchup by any stretch of the imagination. What is that? Okay. Drop that there. Go for you. Guess we'll take that. I mean, we'll do that. We'll Ultra Ball it away. Get the other Gibble. He's got a weakness to us, so that's fun too. What's he gonna do here? Okay. At the end. There we go. So we're gonna get the Garchomp off for sure, unless he just plays something ridiculous here, which I can't think of anything. quite sure what this deck is. Okay, just take that damage then. Look at that. Go ahead and evolve. Trying to think. No, okay, well, that's that then. So anyway, that's our 2 matches with Garchomp. Unfortunately, the second one wasn't very good, but that first one, you know, just kind of gives you a good indication against Mewtwo and things like that. You know, which is a deck you're going to see a lot of. Obviously, that was a little bit different of a Mewtwo matchup. I've not seen the Jirachi in a lot of Mewtwo, but anyway, we saw a big Mega Mewtwo. We got him up in the face, and we took care of him. So, yep, that's it, guys. So, let me know what you think down below about Garchomp. If there's any of the decks floating around, kind of outlier decks or anything like that, you want me to try to work around with on PTCGO and see if I can get them built and all that. As you can see, I've got all these decks lined up here, so we got some more we're going to be going through here in the next few weeks. So, but that is it. I will see you all next time.